What is up, everybody? My name is Christoph. Alongside me is
Brianna. Hey, what's up, guys?
And this is ExtraNormal Podcast, where we tell abnormal stories for these extra normal times. How have you been?
Very busy. This week has been kind of insane for us both. We got a little trip in, spent some family time in Palm Springs. Yeah, it's been ever since we've been back, it's been like work and just,
right next to Joshua Tree, which is like UFO Central.
Yes.
That's like the big thing.
Yeah. And when we were in Joshua Tree, we just saw a bunch of shooting stars. Or
And
did we? Or were they something more?
I don't know. Well, I do know that this week,
more than meets the eye.
Craziness. Yeah, I know, right? Speaking of craziness, it's been like, there's been a lot of UFO news. Like, there's been a lot of alien news. Like,
there has been.
Dancing about, but between
I'm excited to talk
whistleblowers in Las Vegas and all kinds of crazy ass shit. What's been the top story for you that you've thought of? Like, that has attracted the most attention?
I think most people that know me know that I love aliens and believe in extraterrestrials and all that fun stuff. So anytime, I think when people see anything on the news or something, they always send it my way.
Yeah.
And I had woke up to somebody sending me a message about an alien in Las Vegas that basically, like, a craft had crashed in someone's backyard. And most people that know me know that, yes, like, oh, I believe that. I don't know. Because I was like looking at the footage, just like, and I've had like, I don't want to say like I've seen a UFO, but I have had like experiences where I've seen something in the sky before.
Weird shit in the sky.
And I was like so in awe over it. It was like you don't even think about like recording on your phone because you're just like, oh fuck, like that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and you're just kind of taking it in. And that's basically like this person that claimed that they had seen something that's exactly what like they did. And there was a someone's camera from their porch showed like the object kind of like falling down, but I don't.
The ring?
Yeah, from their ring. And I'm like, I don't know. As much as I do believe and I want to believe that story was real, I don't know.
It's a weird thing because there's the unidentified person, which always makes it a little sketchier when it's unidentified. I mean, they were not one on camera, but they didn't identify themselves.
This person did.
Oh, there's one who I know that there was someone who was allegedly saw it in their backyard. And they said it was 8 to 10 foot tall, like the actual pilot. That's what they are alleging. There's the ring camera, and I think most people taken away from the ring camera, and we'll post this. But most people are taken away from the ring camera is the audio. That the audio sounds a little fucked up, and it sounds like something crashing for sure.
Yes, 100%.
Something landed, but and then there's also have you seen the police, like the not the body cam, but the car cam of the police officer? So people started reporting it to the Vegas PD, and they started responding. And one officer who responded actually got it on their camera. This is from CNN. You can see by their dirty little watermark. So this is all police cam footage. This is the police responding to the family reporting it.
The family that said it's in their backyard.
I don't know. I'm so nervous right now. I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, and then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
Yeah, brother, did you see it? Huh? Did you see it? Yeah, me and him saw it. What'd you see? It was like a big creature. A big creature? Yeah, like around 10 feet tall. I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
They see like a big. That's what they say. They see like a big something with light.
Can we go there? Weird. Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact time. If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Wow.
Oh. So they didn't find anything in the backyard.
That was actually pretty interesting that the cops did say that.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky? Like, if you see any, like, little, well, not little in this case.
They're claiming 8 to 9 foot tall green beings that were in their backyard.
Can you imagine going
but you
around
never
asking
know.
So that in itself, listening to the actual like police say that they were kind of following something, they
Mhm.
saw something in the sky. That like there's I don't know. I like that. I like that.
Did it pique your interest? I want to pull up
There's gotta be some if something crashed in your backyard, like where are the remnants of that? You know?
That's the suspicious part is that, and these, it seemed like, listen, it seemed like the officers were not in on the take, right? They're not like Men in Black, like trying to cover this up. They were
Mhm.
actually looking for it too. So
Yeah.
it seems a little bizarre that they weren't able to find anything because they were kind of like searching for it too.
That's where I'm that
It's very interesting. I don't know on the scale of believability if it's like a UFO crash landing. I don't
okay,
know.
do
I think it's very interesting.
do
I like it.
are you ready to go down the Alice in Wonderland wormhole?
Am I ready to take the red pill or whatever they say?
Are you
Sure.
ready to hear?
I don't know. Now,
I'm excited
the way
for
you're
you to hear.
the way you're hyping this up, I don't.
I'm wondering
know.
if I actually have talked to you about this. I feel like I have.
Maybe you have.
There has been like I think because it okay. And the only reason why I'm like really into this I don't want to say I 100% believe it, but why I'm really into this conspiracy theory about aliens is because it all started like during the pandemic. That's when it like became when we were in shutdown. It became okay for, they were acknowledging, the
Yeah.
government was acknowledging the fact
Yeah.
that, but when before it was like, no,
Mhm.
it's a possibility, but no, we've never seen anything. There's no, the cover up.
I like your impression of them.
So thank you. They're like,
Spot on. Nope.
nope. And so anyway, so I feel like, so during the pandemic, that's why I think like everybody was like, oh my God, look, you're always talking about aliens and now it's coming out. And now I'm like, why is it coming out?
Mhm.
Like, why are they willing to talk about it now when they weren't? Why do they want us to look over here? What's going on over there? So I'm very leery. Like, yes, 100%, I always believe that there is other life out there. There's no, and I believe that some of them, we are sharing this planet with them. 100%, I believe that. But for the government to be so open about it now and all these more and more stories coming out, there's this conspiracy theory that what they're trying to say is like they're trying to basically it's part of the whole new world order.
Okay.
They want us to like believe instead of believing in different religions and different gods, they want one God. And they're going by like
they're taking the Egyptian route, is what you're saying?
No, they're taking the Christianity round. Like,
well, that's what's his face in Egypt. We're gonna butcher this, but in Egypt there was multiple gods, and then is it Ramses? So one of the Egyptians, he's like, no, actually, there's one God, and it's kind of through me. Akhenaten.
Yeah.
Established that he's like, no, all those other gods are wrong.
I don't think Akhenaten really meant they were through him. I think
monotheistic.
I think Akhenaten was like more realistic in the sense of like there's the sun god, there's one God, and like how much I love Akhenaten. So it's like like there's so much mystery and the fact that his like body's missing.
Sure.
I have so many theories. We've done podcasts on that.
Sorry to get you off on a tangent.
Yeah, that's gonna get me going. But anyways, I love Akhenaten. I could talk about him all day.
I love him too.
But modern, going flash forward to present day, like what this is the big kicker of and I want everybody's like opinion on this.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying that there's going to be
who's they, by the way, when we're saying they're saying
it's the conspiracy
theorists.
Yes.
Phones.
So like in the Bible, it talks about Jesus coming back, right?
Yes.
In the end times, right? And a lot of people speculate that these are the end times, which
they've been saying that for fucking.
I know. There's always a situation.
The day after Jesus died, they've been saying.
It's like people live through the freaking plague, and if anything, I would have thought those were the fucking end times because
they said the Renaissance was the end times because people were starting to read.
So I don't believe that. Bible. But what scares me with our technology is that, and I have dreams about that. Like I have like some psychic shit like going on with me sometimes. Like I had a dream a couple years ago that Jesus came back
Yeah.
and we were all following him to whatever holy ground. And in my heart, I was like, this is not Jesus. This is a fake prophet. And that's kind of like what it talks about in end times, that they're be careful by the false ones. And so the
That's
conspiracy
a
I've given,
classic biblical thing.
so the theory is that they're, because we have so much modern technology, that they're
Yeah.
basically going to make Jesus a hologram, because in the
They're gonna
Bible,
Tupac that shit.
hell yeah. So in the Bible, it talks about how everybody will see when Jesus comes back,
Yeah.
everybody will see him at the same time. And we're thinking like, oh yeah, technology, we can see him on cell phones.
Mhm.
We can see him like on cameras. We could see, like, there's a million reasons why like we would be able to see him. And but that theory that's kind of like
A
the
hologram?
that he's gonna come back as a hologram, and he's gonna come back, and then they're gonna like also hologram like UFOs, and like we're gonna be like abducted by aliens. They're gonna make this fake facade in the sky, and then Jesus is gonna come back, and then we're gonna go by the New World Order, because we're gonna follow
But
this new nuance, because Jesus is real, because everybody saw him, and it's just a hologram.
can I not to like I don't want to give the NWO any notes on this, but isn't the whole point of a hologram, it's kind of a flat, like you can make kind of a three-dimensional hologram, but if what I'm saying is if
But think
someone
about
walks past
angels.
Jesus,
Yeah, but
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
see it.
but they're gonna look at
It's
him
like
as
a
like,
movie facade.
but they will think of him like, if he's in the sky, they're gonna
Uh-huh.
think of him in like an angel, right? So he's gonna be
So they're gonna
kind of
project on the
see-through.
sky.
Yes. That's
Mm.
I guess they're already able to do that.
Mm.
And so there's gonna be like a
But then
like
what
alien
point?
like warfare, like where aliens are gonna try to take over
Okay.
and somehow
But why would they need a hologram Jesus to just start raining down
to
the
start the
fucking
New World
fire?
Order, because all the people that
But
didn't
what, they
believe will
could
be like,
just
oh my God, he is real. Jesus is real. Look at, he's in the sky,
but
like, so it's a tactic to have control,
I guess, but don't they already have I just don't see.
the need for it.
Yeah, it seems unnecessary to put them. Again, I don't want to give NWO notes. Like I don't want to give them tips and tricks, but it seems
Well, I think
completely
where it stems from is that they wanted to see with COVID,
Mhm.
to put the fear in us first, right? So
I
it
think the
was like,
fear is gone. I don't think
so,
anybody's scared of COVID anymore.
but I think that was initially like, how can we control these people? Can we make them all wear masks? Can we make them all take this shot? Can we make them all do this kind of stuff? And then that's like a theory. Like I'm interested in it. I think
Hmm.
it's interesting. I don't know if I believe
I think
it,
there's some holes in the
but
plot. If that's what they're if that's the best
but so
fucking plan
that's
of
but
the
see all of
NWO,
this, but see
I'm
the
not
only
scared of them
reason why
anymore.
like I am really into this is
Yeah.
because I look at it now like there's all these like UFOs like being sighted even more than before. And
Sure.
I'm like, well, which ones are real? Like which ones are real and which ones are like this thing that they're trying to put this state of fear in us, you
Sure.
know?
Can I give you a theory of what I've heard, that the reason why all of a sudden the government's like, yeah, it's kind of a thing,
Right.
is there's a theory, and it actually tracks along with like the lining up of Roswell and stuff, that there's a theory that there's a possibility that a lot of governments like US and China, all these big world governments, have finally made some intense military breakthroughs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're testing them out. And as a red herring, as a way to get people off the scent of them having this breakthrough and being able to, you speak of control, they're letting this UFO shit get out so that it's not the US. Like, for instance, this Vegas thing. Say, for instance, hypothetically, this is a American craft built with some new crazy ass new technology that is a breakthrough that's flying out of Area 51, and it crash landed. The government is excited for us to say it's a UFO,
Right.
because it throws it off their scent. So that's a theory and that's compelling, because also I think that
I want to say that's been going on for longer than we really.
I think so. I think
I
think the government is ecstatic that we're saying UFOs.
Mhm.
If it's their own, they're like they were, for better or worse, Roswell, like whether you believe it was an actual thing, right? It was an actual alien thing. They were ecstatic because they were confirmed. They were doing tests in the desert, like with military technology that was far advanced from what we understood was at the US's
Right.
capabilities. So they were thrilled that we were saying it was aliens in Roswell. Whether it was aliens and we were doing like, because there are theories that aliens choose where we go and test our shit to test their shit too, because they're like it's already there. Whether the Roswell was like, but they were like, I feel like the government is ecstatic that like everybody's like, oh fucking like look, it's the aliens, because they're probably checking out like invincibility cloaks. I don't know how close they are to that, but I'm sure they're
That's
trying it
crazy.
out. Like I have no doubt that they're trying it. I'm not saying like they're all like in
And we've
Wonder
talked
Woman
about this
planes, but
before, like when we did the 24-hour Disney,
yeah,
and we saw like we could definitely see there was a craft that was invisible in the sky.
yeah.
That totally could have been the military.
Yeah.
That could
Fly
have
it over
been
Disney and see
NASA.
if they notice it.
Yeah. We gotta correct this a little bit better, and that's probably honestly what it was.
You think so?
I definitely think that's a possibility. I was like, obviously, these idiots see that we see them. We're fucking videotaping them,
These
like
knuckleheads.
you know. So it's like, I feel like if that was like an alien, they'd be like, "Oh fuck, let's get out of here," you know. They'd be a little smarter than us
Yeah,
humans.
I don't know. It's a crazy ass time, and also too, Noah, while we're on that subject, the alien subject, I'm sure. Have you heard about the world famous now? He's probably world famous. His name is what's his name? David Grusch. Have you heard of David Grusch? Grusch. So David Grusch has come out in the news recently because he's a whistleblower. He used to work for the Pentagon. He actually used to work for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the National Reconnaissance Office. He's gone public with a whistleblower claim that he submitted to the Pentagon as well as Congress, where he says that we have both partial and intact alien crafts, and that was his initial whistleblowing. Now he's saying that there's also bodies, alien bodies. He's gone on. He went to, I think
When did he speak out?
About a week ago, and he's I'm sure we'll see it on Ancient Aliens next season, but he's
Well, they've had people on Ancient Aliens before that
have said that kind of stuff
for Roswell.
Roswell, yeah.
One of the guys said that there was bodies in there, and they did have the craft as well.
I know Bob Lazar is the most famous of the whistleblowers, apparent whistleblowers. But this guy, you know, some things to note, like he first went out on debrief, and that he mentioned the partial and intact spacecrafts that he says, I think up to a dozen. I think he said that the U.S. is trying to reverse engineer is the idea. It usually ends up with that in these stories, in these whistleblower stories. But he's gone on. He's done TV interviews now and everything like that. Pretty legit guy. He's a pretty high ranking. He actually just quit after a 14-year career. He was pretty high ranking in that agency. Some things to note is that he doesn't have firsthand knowledge of it. He's saying, you know, that what's the agency, UTIP or whatever it is? UTIP one.
I don't know.
You can cut this out. Who cares? What was the agency? What's the famous fucking agency we should have at the top of our brain?
I mean, they were even saying that Adolf Hitler had a complete craft built, like to time travel. You know, so like this knowledge of this coming out doesn't surprise me, because I truly believe that. I hate saying it because I wish Adolf did die and burn, but I think he did time travel.
I don't think he time traveled. I think the problem, I know he was surrounded. He either is a master, he's fucking Houdini, and he slipped out and he went to Argentina, which is a possibility.
Yeah, it's a big
theory, possibility.
Yeah,
or he's dead. Those are the only two things that work for me. And
you know that they also say that Nikola Tesla time traveled.
That's a little more doable. Hitler was a fucking dope. If you're gonna ask me whether Hitler time traveled or Nikola Tesla time traveled, I'm gonna say Nikola Tesla. Hitler was he was a goofball. Like people are fascinated by Hitler and technology because he was obsessed with technology, but he was a fucking idiot. Like he wanted to build a time machine.
Obviously, yeah.
Idiot. He wanted to build a nuclear bomb.
I don't know.
He was a master manipulator, but he was an idiot.
He was a horrible person.
Terrible person.
I think
bad
he
military.
got knowledge. He had some knowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
advanced technology. He went around the world, was looking for stuff. He knew what he was looking for. Of course, he was looking for stuff. He had psychics. He had some kind of witchcraft going on where they were like connecting with the other realm for him to get this technology. Like, how did he figure all that out? Like, to me, that's kind of wild, you know?
But he
I hope
didn't
he
even
didn't
figure all that shit
succeed,
out. He just looked for
but
it.
he,
He's like hired everybody on his
but to
son.
know, like, to go around the world to try to build these ancient crafts, like
Of course he tried.
that to me is just like, oh my God, like, how would you know? And that's another thing too
Here's
that frustrates me. We have these crafts that, like, in India, for instance, that were like, we have like the blueprints of them.
Mhm.
And it's like, how did we have that advanced technology? And why aren't we using that today? Or if we are using
it's
that
hard.
today,
I'm sure if
why are
someone
we
could.
hiding that we are using that today? And what are we really doing with that stuff? It's
I don't know if
kind
it'd
of
be
scary.
hidden. I think a lot of private people, if they
Well, just
took
like you were
anything
saying,
from
like
those,
let's say it's a UFO and we're
yeah.
testing out all this stuff like that. So it's like,
I think
why hide it?
Hitler was trying. I think for Hitler's sake, like he was trying everything because in the end he knew he was going to lose. So he was trying to find. Basically, he was trying to find Thanos's Infinity Gauntlet and trying to snap. That's what he was looking for. But he was a nutcase. He was a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
Speaking of witches, I found this one. This was good recently. I think it was last week. This was uncovered. 2 witches were caught eating deer carcasses in strange security camera footage.
Can we watch
Topless.
it? Oh wait, we can't watch that.
I don't know if we can. Well, yeah, we'll be
I'm all-
shadow banned.
Yeah, I was
but there were 2 topless witches found on security cameras. This was in Canada.
Topless, no, like wearing pants though, or shorts.
They were wearing
dresses?
like
because in some witchcraft, like they do, like they're part of their thing is to do.
Yeah, let me pull up the image of it.
Natural
it's not
one with the earth.
It's PG-13, so we'll be good with this. I think the video might be a little R-rated.
I'm already laughing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, is it that's just the picture?
That's a screenshot of them. Someone caught that. Could you imagine finding that on your
close? Like
someone? It's Canada.
So it's Canada. What does that mean? Are people just walking by, videotaping, taking pictures?
It means that there's a lot of forested area that's like a backyard. It's like.
Can you zoom into the deer?
The deer's dead.
Well, yeah, they're eating it, right?
Yeah. So this lady found this on her fucking security camera.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's wild. And so nobody knows who they are. They haven't tracked them down.
Okay, so
would you like me to read on from timesnownews.com? That's such a fucking generic.
keep reading because I want to hear more. But because I'm just like, how are they not dead from eating raw?
They're probably dead somewhere else. It took a few days. A woman was left horrified when her wildlife camera captured 2 scantily clad women holding a carcass eating ritual near her house. Corinia Stanhope found a dead deer at the bottom of her garden in Powell River, Canada. While riding one of her horses, she decided to set up a trail camera to see if the carcass attracted any animals. When Corinia and her grandfather checked the footage the next day, they were shocked to see 2 half-naked women appearing to dine on the corpse. Footage shows what appeared to be 2 figures with long hair wearing just a piece of clothing covering their buttocks. We've read a lot of buttocks in the past few episodes. Standing near the dead deer, they squatted down and reached over the carcass, appearing to take a bite. I don't know what the heck was up with that. It really freaked us out. It's not something you see every day. They came in 10 minutes after sunset. They looked disheveled. It looks like they have wigs on. One looks like she has a blonde hair underneath.
Yeah, I noticed that in that one picture. It looked funky.
Yeah, it looks fucked up. She said, I don't know if she was kissing it, smelling it, or eating it, but the touch of decaying carcass like that makes me feel sick. The amount of bacteria that must have been on there. So yeah, so she straight up found this. Is this a thing? There's not this. I thought this was something. I thought this was like a fucking satanic panic thing, that there's like random like witches like eating or touching dead carcasses in the forest. Like
it's probably dark magic. There's so many different types of witches out there.
Yes.
Yes. So it's really like hard to say, but if I was just to guess, that was dark magic for sure.
But why?
because it's I know. Well, I know
What
it's
does
like
that do?
unless they were possessed, but they could have if they were satanic, like they might have been possessed and then they're eating because usually like as a Satanist, you have to like give an offering. So you would kill something for
I
offering,
guess.
but then you wouldn't eat it afterwards.
But I
Because it would
truly
be for the demonic. You
I
know, that would be
guess.
like the gift for Satan.
For
You know?
Satan. It's fucking for me, I'm not a religious guy.
Yeah. But what were we
To
watching
me,
last
it's
night? We were actually
mental
just
fucking
watching
illness more than anything else.
we were watching
The
that
Exorcist
exorcism show. It's pretty good, you guys.
Yeah,
should
there's
watch it.
what's his face? Famous horror director. Oh my god.
It was really good.
What's his fucking face? The guy who did Hostel and all that shit.
It was really good, but then afterwards it kind of freaked me out a little bit, so I had to go put holy water next to my daughter's bed.
Did you really? It freaked you out?
Did you see that I put it back there?
I thought it was
tonight?
fun. It didn't necessarily
You know,
Eli Roth. Sorry, I had to say
Yeah.
it. Eli Roth
It was
is
good.
he hosts the show.
Question.
Okay. Wow. Usually I'm the one question.
Do you believe
Mm-hmm.
that performing an exorcism is real? And do you think that it is effective? Do you believe that somebody can be demonized? Do you believe somebody that can be taken over?
It's hard for me to believe that there's actually some spirit or demonic presence that takes over a body and stays in there, right? Like it's hard to believe that death has that power over people and it stays in there. And then partially, like I believe that negative energy can stick around in people's
There's
stuff.
been so many like true stories that have facts and evidence that people have been possessed before.
Yeah.
So how could you not believe that?
But is that just some sort of whatever like
them being
voodoo negative energy or mental illness that is triggered? And then the hardest part for me is as being not someone who's religious is the fact that like it's like the fact that someone has the idea that someone has a demonic spirit floating in them, right? That's stuck. That is like if you're in the house, the demonic spirit is there inside you. If you go to the fucking grocery store, it rides along with you, that kind of stuff. And then you go, I think it's easier for you as a religious person, but the fact that someone just shouts Hail Marys at them and then like the demon's just like, okay, I guess I'll head out then. Like it's hard for me to.
It depends on the demon. Sometimes it takes like way more than that and like sessions of that. So do you believe that Chucky's real? Like the original doll wasn't named Chucky. What was his name?
It was
that doll's creepy. If
we did an episode on it. Look up on the episode.
The one in the little sailor suit.
He's in where's he at now? He's in Florida somewhere, right? The Keys. In a museum, in a case. Yeah, I don't know.
So you don't think that objects can be possessed either?
I think
because
the
Chucky doll.
I love a good object possession story, but
the Chucky doll was voodoo. They did like an evil voodoo spell on that.
Oh, is
I believe
origin?
Just like I've talked about this a million times in our podcast. Don't get it twisted because I believe there's amazing good magic that comes out of voodoo.
Yeah.
And it just depends. It's just like any type of witchcraft. You get it in the wrong hands, you give people the wrong people power, just like fucking Hitler, like in any sense. And it could be used for bad as well.
Sure.
So
well, you give like,
but I'm not even honestly the whole Chucky thing. I do not, because that was like a whole like plantation type situation. Yeah. I would voodoo those motherfuckers too, because they're torturing those poor people and everything else. Yeah, I'm gonna put a fucking voodoo doll on your kid, you know.
If you had if you had the power of magic, and would you wield it for any petty stuff? Like it's easy to say, yeah, I'd be a superhero and I would just use it all for good. But if you had the power of magic, would you wield it for like petty shit? Like let's say you had the power for mind control. Would you like, go, you're going to give me this fucking purse for $5. Would you use it for that petty kind of shit?
Depends on the purse. Just kidding. No. And I think truly, madly, deeply.
Savage Garden.
I think that
nobody knows.
I have the ability
to do that.
I'm no
Only
to
on me, honey.
to become no just to become a witch in general. I think I was in a past life 100%. I feel things, I see things, and I dream of things sometimes, and so I definitely feel like that realm. I'm very connected to it.
Hmm.
But because I am human, I don't trust myself. I would not want to be like on a bad day using it for bad,
Yeah.
not being in the right mental state. And that's why I always like remind people that are getting into that, especially people that have mental issues. Like it scares me because I could just see somebody on the wrong day, wrong time. They start getting into dark magic to get what they want. And then, yeah, it's just scary. It's just really fucking
It's got to be
scary.
tempting. I mean, like if you believe in that, it's got to be tempting to utilize that for
Yeah.
both good and bad. Like someone cuts you off, you want to do a little petty voodoo magic,
Mhm.
right? How do you not want to do that? Like,
Yeah.
how is it not instinct to do that? I think, but at the same time, you're wielding unnecessary and overburdensome power over someone. I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely would steer clear of that. I think if because I just know myself, and there's probably stronger witches out there that do have those abilities,
Yeah.
but I just wouldn't trust myself.
Do you believe in like the hex stuff? Do you like if someone's a witch, are you a little nicer to them because you don't want to get a hex on you?
If they're like a fucked up witch that like you could tell they're gonna do some fucked up shit to you, I'm gonna be real nice. But I mean, like one of the witches that I know, like I mean, we get along fine. I think she's a good person. So I think
Are you
even
just
if
saying that because you don't want to hex?
no, I genuinely think even if she was like mad at me for whatever reason, she just is not that petty. You know? Like I just don't know.
I
Yeah.
want to hear. Can we talk to a voodoo? We got to solicit a voodoo priest, right? Is it a priest? Voodoo priest? Voodoo
A priestess.
practitioner?
Yeah, practitioner.
Voodoo.
Well, we've met voodoo priestess.
I know, but we haven't. We need to interview one and say, "Hey, what's the
Yeah.
deal? Like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, not what the fuck? Like, why
What's
you're
the
doing this?
deal?
But what does all this shit mean? Like,
We went to like when we were in New Orleans, we had gone to like what would you call it? Like church? It was
that's
like
what I'm saying. I don't know.
it was
I don't know.
basically
We
like
need someone to tell us.
we went to Voodoo Temple
Specifically
and
voodoo.
they were like doing I guess you would call it church type deal.
Like
And
a session or a
and I
mass.
had yeah, like and I had no idea
I
what
don't
was
know.
going on. Like
Yeah.
it was not even it wasn't creepy, it was interesting, but I wanted to ask so much questions, but I just was trying to be very like like I don't know, just
Yeah.
respectable.
You got to be respectful
So,
for a voodoo
but I will
priest,
say
because otherwise-
I definitely think that voodoo is real, and I know that it works because if you guys listen to whatever episode was it okay, if you guys listen to one of our episodes, it's called I think Ghost Dildos. You'll see why.
That's an early one.
Yeah,
That's a
that was
super
that,
early
but
one. That's a
that goes
throwback.
deep into us talking about New Orleans
Yeah.
and us having like a haunting going on where we lived and asking like the voodoo priestess for help, and she really did help us, and you can hear more about that on the episode if you listen to
Yeah.
that.
I don't like for me, like to answer your question, finally answer your question. I don't think that I would be necessarily. I'm a big believer in being a skeptic, like in my nature, not like taking stuff and searching for empirical evidence before I take it in. But at the same time, I know that like I have an instinct in my head, like I'm gonna be the guy who's like, that's not real. Like the guy in the horror movie is a doubter, and then the fucking Chucky doll is gonna murder me. So even though I believe likely the Chucky doll is not gonna come after me, I'm not gonna fucking test it. I'm not gonna fucking test fate. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that type.
When we were watching that show last night, I literally I'm a collector. If people don't know, I collect a lot of vintage stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh my God,
Anything's
like,
possessed.
like anything can be possessed, and so it's a little scary. Like that's a scary thought, that something you bring into your home like can have
Bad energy.
Yeah, bad
And the
energy
one we
that
saw, it
could
was
take over you.
I don't know if I 100% believe it, but apparently there was a doll and they bought it and it was possessed, they thought. And the whole house burned down except for that fucking doll.
Yeah.
Just like,
And then another sequence, like, so he did like a prayer.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because like the way that the priests do these prayers over in this whole like whatchamacallit, the way that they handle the whole situation,
Yeah.
it sounds like they're doing spells, like because you know in like witchcraft they talk about like binding people, like evil people. They'll take a picture of them and they'll bind them so they can't hurt them anymore.
Yeah.
In the exorcism, the priests are doing the same thing. So they take the object that's possessed and they bind it with a special cloth that they've prayed over and has holy water, and they bind it the exact same way as a witch would. It's so fucking fascinating.
Yeah, there's a lot of mysticism in Catholicism.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like saints who are like in charge of certain things, and it's like a lot of ritualistic stuff. Like, you know, you pray and you like almost offer like you almost build like a shrine to like the saint of like gardening to like get your garden growing. Like there's a lot of mysticism within Catholicism.
If you lose something, there's Saint Anthony
that you like
So
you
you
give tribute
ask-
to, right?
you pray to Saint Anthony to help you find something. Oh God, growing up, my grandma always was like, pray to Saint Anthony, pray to Saint Anthony, and then she'd find it, and it was because she prayed to Saint Anthony. You know, well, you know, it was always hard for me to like to believe that. I mean, I did it as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
So I want to strike some fear in you because I know we've been talking about aliens coming and them coming over and destroying us and totally Mars attacking this.
Mhm.
But I think maybe one of the real threats is fucking crocodiles. I think the crocodiles are figuring
I mean,
it
they're
out.
part of the reptilian race.
Well, they're
so-
fucking figuring it out because a crocodile in Costa Rica had a virgin birth, like Mother Mary style.
Shut the fuck up.
This,
How did they find that? Like,
according to CNN.com,
Stop.
scientists say they have documented the first virgin birth in a crocodile.
I'm done.
They don't even need to
I'm
fuck
so
anymore.
done.
To humans, this type of reproduction is not unheard of across the animal kingdom, but crocodiles are doing it now. There's been in Costa Rica, they found a crocodile who hadn't fucked basically for 15 years, who had a baby.
Okay, was she segregated from other
She was like in a zoo, I think.
male crocodiles?
Let's figure it out. Let's read on. The crocodile in question, named Coquita, had been living alone in Costa Rica Zoo called Parque Reptiliandia. Reptiliandia.
Stop while you're ahead.
For 16 years before laying a very special clutch of eggs in 2018. One of the eggs was later found to contain a fully formed crocodile fetus, despite the fact Coquita had lived virtually her entire life in isolation. There was almost no chance she had consorted with male crocodiles. It was clear evidence presented for the first time in a paper published in the journal Biology Letters. That must be an exciting journal. This was like their fucking breakthrough, right? In Biology Letter. But yeah, excuse me, I lost the article. But yeah. What?
Oh, excuse me, I lost the article.
Oh, sorry. But anyways, this crocodile in Costa Rica, she had a baby on her fucking own. They're taking over. They don't even need to fuck anymore. Crocodiles it's happening.
Maybe they're like.
Did they mention crocodiles in the Bible in Revelations?
It's happening. They do talk about. I mean, they talk about serpents. I consider that a serpent.
Oh my God. It's happening. I believe.
They say, snakes were the serpent, but I'm like, when I think of a serpent, I feel like that could be.
Do you think maybe a crocodile handed an apple to Eve?
He's like, my theory on that is that like homeboy crocodile
some crocodile stuck in the zoo. Some fucking teenager crocodile.
He's fucking coming over and hooking up with homegirl.
That's
and
devotion.
Leaving like a thief in the night. And I think that's a situation. Or maybe like just like we all evolve, maybe somehow evolution is starting with this crocodile. And
it's starting, honey. It's starting. The animals are taking back the fucking kingdom.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being fucking serious. I'm scared. I'm alone and
No,
I'm
what I was
scared.
gonna say is I was like, I don't know if they could get themselves pregnant, but I was like, when if just like you know how ducks can like change genders? I'm like, what if it just could switch over? But then I was like, but then how can it get itself pregnant? I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, it's
I definitely think there's a crocodile sneaking in there. They just need to get cameras. Get a
So-
camera. You're gonna see fucking Ted the crocodile coming and hooking up with whatever. What was her name?
you know how scared I am of fucking teenagers? And now crocodiles are acting like teenagers and sneaking into zoos and fucking. Like, this is scary.
It's probably
There's no
not.
part
No, it's
that
probably
you're gonna
not
say that's really
scary. They're probably coming through like some drainage situation.
They're
That's what I
hanging out in
bet.
the drains. Would you be scared
You
of
have to remember,
crocodiles
it's
if you lived
Costa
in Florida
Rica.
or Costa Rica?
It's Costa Rica, so their zoos are probably going to be more jungle-esque, more authentic with nature, as opposed to ours. Very not. Like we try to make ours very, oh, look, it's just like you're on a safari, but it's not. It's definitely nothing like a safari. You
No,
know?
at all.
So that's why I don't know. I definitely think
You're skeptical
someone's
of all the
coming
things you fucking believe in. You're
in.
skeptical of this.
I don't know.
Life finds a way, baby. It
But
finds a way.
but I believe
What would
maybe
you?
crocodiles are part of the reptilian race. So there's that.
I got a
know?
question for you.
What?
What would scare you the most if all of a sudden there was a mass self reproduction of any animal? What animal would scare you the most? Like if fucking lions were all of a sudden
Apes, because they're already in our family.
Do you think like chimpanzees, if they were able to like bang them out and they had an army of chimpanzees, that would scare you?
I feel like
That's a good one.
I definitely, because I feel like they're so advanced already and they can communicate. It scares me.
Yeah,
That would scare me.
that would scare
I feel like more than anything else, to be honest. Just because of, I mean, I would be scared of other animals as far as like attacking us to kill us.
Yeah,
But this is like mind. Like this is like where these
They're pretty
species,
smart.
if there's enough of them, they can outsmart us. That's just like we outsmarted them.
What about ants? Ants are very intelligent. What if we just
But
had
I
a
think ants also work with us.
trillion ants?
I don't know. Like I wouldn't be. I don't know if ants would try to kill us.
What about a trillion whales in the ocean? We wouldn't be able to go in the ocean anymore, like killer whales.
That's true.
The oceans would
Like
be
orcas.
done for us, like because they would be like, "Fuck you, this is
Well,
our turf
orcas
now."
are dicks, anyways. Were you the one telling me that new thing that they're just doing?
Yeah, they're tipping boats.
They're just tipping boats
Yeah,
for
they're
fun.
fucking tipping.
Like not
'cause
for fun because they got punked. Yeah,
They're done with us. They're like these fucking humans.
because the human pissed them off, right?
They're accidentally knocking us over. They're
Mhm.
fucking taking up our ocean. They're fucking stinking it up with all their gasoline. Like orcas love the smell of fish shit, but I'm sure they don't love the smell of like gasoline.
Someone said it's a crocodilian. I'm dead.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love it.
That genuinely fucking that for me, like that is concerning. When evolution, because I feel like evolution is gonna start fucking fighting back with us, right?
I mean,
Survival
already,
of
I feel like
fittest.
it already has. Yeah, you know.
But do you think the Earth is sentient enough to like? Do you believe? I gotta ask you this because I don't think I've ever asked
Okay,
you.
this is funny. Someone just said, "Jesus loves you."
Oh,
And
thank
it's not
you.
funny. I love that.
Okay.
Thank you. Jesus loves you too.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, by the way. I just don't judge people for loving the same gender and other things. So
What's happening?
I'm just,
Hmm?
I don't know. It's just like
Is that the fake
when
Jesus
somebody-
account from the NWO?
when somebody like comes out, it's like Jesus loves you. It's like it's usually like a little bit of a mockery because
Is
it's
it?
like, I mean, if they're genuinely like preaching that, you know, I love that. But if they're
What am I gonna do with that? What am I gonna?
yeah, it's just a reminder.
So here's my problem with that whole Jesus loves you thing. Like unsolicited single comment.
Mhm.
If I believe in him, okay, thank you. I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Like I
But
already.
that's the thing. Like that's are they looking at me like, oh, she has tattoos. Oh, she's talking about aliens.
I guess.
Like
But then
she must not believe, you know. It's like let's not judge.
But then if
people.
someone says Jesus loves you, right? It's for their own sake because that's never like for me, I'm not a believer. Like I'm
Mhm.
not gonna if someone just flat out without any context says Jesus love you, it's not gonna be like, oh, Okay, that convinced me. Now I'm religious. Like there's no like I don't get it. I don't what it just doesn't seem.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it
I
it'd be almost
for
better if
me,
they're like read
it's
passage blank, and then I would be like, oh,
right.
let me go to it, and then
I think I like for me, and I know I probably shouldn't. Like, it's just kind of like, well, what are you trying to like
what does it mean?
say?
It's
Like, yeah,
so
what are you trying to
open-ended.
say?
Are you
Like,
saying I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
Christian? Are you saying
yeah.
we're
Like,
in the same
let's
boat? Are you saying
let's
that
not judge. Let's not assume. But yes, I
I
am a
don't know?
believer, and I respect everybody's religion
Explain
and their
yourself.
opinion because I am not perfect, just like Jesus wasn't perfect, and
Wasn't Jesus? Wait, hold on. Jesus was
no, I mean, Jesus got mad. He was half human. He got
he flipped
angry.
tables, which I
He
like. I
yeah,
like a good flip of the
he
table.
definitely had a temper. He was human. And so it's
But
like
he never
that's
like
why he bled like us. It was different.
was the most aggressive thing was that him flipping tables? He never like punched a dude, right?
No.
That we know of. That
I
we
mean,
know of.
after he left, I mean, the temple went down. And like he said he was, made a comment when he flipped the tables because he was mad
Yeah.
that everybody was, using his word to make money.
Got it.
And he was really upset about that. And
Got it.
he basically told them point blank that this will be in shambles. It'll be like crumbled down. And then so like there was a big earthquake like 3 days after he died, and it was gonzo.
Got it. Got it.
So
And I would guess that I would
so that's
guess that some
probably
people,
like the most like thug life thing I think he did.
I'm sure that there's people shouting me who are not religious or saying that probably the most violent thing he did was is send people to hell if they don't believe in him. I would say that's pretty violent. But anyways,
I don't even know. Like, I feel like everybody gets the chance to be judged, believers or not.
yeah,
And I think if this is just my opinion, I think if God knows our heart and he knows our soul. So he knows deep down if we were good people and where we're coming from with our viewpoints on religion. And maybe you not being religious is because you were taught, because you saw molestation in Catholic churches and you saw like so many backsliding Christians and all the hypocrisy that you see in church today.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So I think Jesus knowing what you've seen, I think on Judgment Day,
Okay,
he would take that into consideration.
got it.
Because if I believe if he can, definitely forgive people for killing that genuinely like are sorry for it because he knows their heart, knows their souls. Why wouldn't he be able to forgive you to understand why you felt the way that you did? That's just my opinion.
Okay.
I'm sure there's like tons of religious people that wouldn't believe
I'm
it,
sure there's all kinds of. They love being judgy. That's all I'll
Mhm.
say. They love a good judgment.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they love a judgment. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like animals are, to get back to it, animals are adapting. Like you see bears going more into fucking civilization and coyotes going more into civilization. Animals adapting to be
bears don't have to hibernate like they used to.
virgin births. There's like animals are evolving.
Plus, like especially here, because it's like we don't have seasons anymore. So the bears used to have to do that stuff and to order to survive, and now they're just like, well, it's not that cold, and I could still get some food around here. So,
Yeah. Speaking of fucked up nature, I also did find a story that apparently in some parts of the world, they are taking dead birds, right? So a bird has its demise, it goes up to bird heaven.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking those birds, they're taxiderming those birds and putting drones inside those birds and using them for drones.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so let me this comes from Reuters. Scientists in New Mexico are giving dead birds a new life with an unconventional approach to wildlife research. A team in New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology in Socorro is taking birds that have been preserved through taxidermy and converting them into drones in order to study flight. So it's basically just a study of flight. They're just trying to figure out how birds fly by, I don't know why they need to fucking pack in a drone with a bird, but they're using that to fucking discover how birds fly.
That's kind of amazing.
It's kind of cool, but I don't think that it has the same innards, right? Like a drone's not going to have the lightweight bone structure that a bird has. So I don't know.
I've been hearing they're doing like shit with, they've been able to put drones like in bugs.
Oh
stuff,
nanotechnology is going to be fucking scary.
So I definitely feel like there's
what's calmed down, I realized, changing the subject, is that AI has calmed down a little bit. Remember like a month ago, AI was the fucking talk of everything.
Yeah. See, again, like this
People
is the
don't
stuff
really
like now
talk
it's
about it
aliens.
anymore.
I've like they keep like switching like
What
all
we
the
should give a
weird
shit about.
stuff that they want to talk about, and it's that's I don't know, it's a little bit like alarming to me.
I think with AI, it was because it was all of a sudden we
Okay, I
got.
need to ask you, did you fart? Because it fucking smells.
I didn't fart. That's your
Liar.
cat. That's your cat.
That's not him. He's perfect.
Yeah, he's purring because he blew ass.
He's such a dick. Don't listen to him.
No, but it's bizarre because like I think that AI broke through because ChatGPT and all of a sudden people were using it to create. But it's a little bit like from an AI like consumer perspective, it's a little bit of a parlor trick. Like people got kind of over like, look, you can make like a new weekend song with AI. Like people got over the parlor trickiness of it. So now they're over it. So AI is done. AI is dead. I'm calling it.
I'm still keeps
dead.
me up at night.
Sure, of course.
Yeah,
it's freaky for sure. Well, this is an episode of ExtraNormal Podcast. My name is Christoph. Alongside me again is
Brianna.
And you can find us on all the social medias at ExtraNormal Podcast. You can email us at extranormalpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure if you're listening, make sure you like and subscribe and give us good stars if you love the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe and get that notification bell so you know when we are going to be posting, and sometimes ever so often going live. We appreciate you listening, and thank you so much.